probably didn't think twice about that glass of water before bed. For decades, it was part of your nightly routine, simple, healthy, harmless, but somewhere along the way, things changed. You started waking up at 1:30, 2:00, sometimes more than once. And no matter how early you go to bed, you still wake up feeling like you didn't actually rest. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone and you're not doing anything wrong. The truth is, after 60, your body handles nighttime hydration very differently. Hormones that used to help you hold water through the night start to decline. Your bladder becomes more sensitive and your nervous system isn't as quick to settle down after being triggered. That glass of plain water, it might be the very thing pulling you out of deep sleep. Now, this doesn't mean you should stop drinking altogether before bed. It just means your body needs a different kind of support, something a little warmer, a little richer, and a lot more calming. In this video, I'll show you 5 simple drinks you can try at night, options that are easy to make, gentle on your system, and designed to help your body fall into deeper sleep and stay there longer. You don't need supplements or pills. You don't need to overhaul your whole routine. Sometimes it's the smallest shift that brings the biggest relief. And if you've been waking up at 2 a.m. wondering what changed, this might be the piece you've been missing. Part 1. Why plain water isn't helping anymore. For years, you were told that drinking more water was one of the healthiest habits you could have. And it's true, staying hydrated matters. But what no one told you is this: after 60, your body no longer responds to water the way it used to, especially at night. That glass of cold, plain water you sip before bed, it might be the very reason you're waking up at 2:00 a.m. without knowing why. And not just once, sometimes 2, even 3 times a night. Then you lie awake, restless, trying to ease yourself back into sleep, and it doesn't come. That's not your fault, it's biology, not bad habits. As we age, our bodies go through subtle but important changes. One of those changes is a natural drop in a hormone called vasopressin, your body's antidiuretic hormone. When you were younger, this hormone helped your body hold on to water during sleep. You could drink a full glass of water at 10 p.m. and sleep straight through until morning. But now, even a few sips might trigger your bladder just 2 hours later. And here's the hard part: once you're awake, it's much harder to fall back asleep. Your brain's ability to transition from alert to calm takes longer. The nervous system doesn't bounce back the way it used to. So even if you only get up to pee for a minute, the ripple effect on your sleep can last for hours. But the problem isn't hydration, it's timing, and more importantly, the type of liquid. Plain water is neutral. It has no calming effect on your nerves. It doesn't support the production of melatonin. It doesn't help your muscles relax or reduce the light tension that builds up in your body throughout the day. And it doesn't stay in your tissues. Instead, it goes straight to your bladder, adding pressure where you least want it at night. The other issue is temperature. Most people drink their water cold or at room temperature at best, but your digestive system at night is more sensitive. Cold drinks cool your stomach, which can subtly stress your body, causing it to regulate temperature and disrupt your sleep cycle without you realizing it. So while it may feel refreshing, it's not restorative. Many older adults think the only alternative to waking up at night is to drink less or not at all. But that often leads to another problem: dry mouth, muscle cramps, a parched throat, or that uncomfortable stiffness that comes from mild dehydration. And now, instead of waking to pee, you're waking up thirsty or with restless legs. What's missing isn't water itself, it's what water could be if it was paired with the right nutrients, at the right temperature, in the right form. Imagine sipping a warm drink before bed that not only hydrates you, but also gently signals your body to let go, to soften, to prepare for sleep. A drink that calms your nerves, warms your belly, and helps you drift into a state of quiet rest, without sending you rushing to the bathroom at 2 a.m. That's what we're looking for here, not a cure, not a miracle. Just a gentle, practical shift that aligns with how your body works now, not how it used to function 30 years ago. And the good news is there are real, natural options that can do just that. You don't need to rely on sleep aids or struggle through more restless nights. You simply need to change what's in your cup. In the next section, I'll walk you through the first of 5 drinks that older adults have used to fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and feel more refreshed in the morning. They're easy to make, easy to enjoy, and maybe just the gentle solution your nights have been needing. Part 2, a warm cup of almond milk, a gentle start to sleep. There's something simple, almost sacred, about holding a warm mug in your hands before bed. The weight of it, the gentle heat seeping into your fingers, The way your shoulders seem to relax the moment you take that first slow sip. For many, it's a moment of calm in a long, noisy day. And after 60, moments like that aren't just comforting, they are necessary. That's why we start here, not with a supplement or a drastic lifestyle change, but with something as familiar and soothing as a warm cup of almond milk. At first glance, almond milk might not seem like anything special. It's dairy-free, plant-based, and widely available in any grocery store. But what makes it different and especially valuable at night is how it gently supports your body's natural sleep process without adding stress to your system. Almonds are a natural source of magnesium, a mineral your body relies on to calm the nervous system and reduce tension. When magnesium levels are low, which is more common after 60, you may experience restlessness, muscle cramps, or that wired but tired feeling that makes it hard to unwind. Magnesium doesn't knock you out. It simply helps your body shift out of the on mode, the go-go-go state most of us live in all day, and into a mode where rest feels possible again. Almond milk also contains tryptophan, a naturally occurring amino acid that serves as a building block for serotonin. Serotonin, in turn, helps the brain produce melatonin, the hormone responsible for regulating your sleep-wake cycle. What's beautiful about this process is how gentle it is. Your body isn't being forced to sleep. It's being given the ingredients it needs to remember how to sleep. That's an important distinction, and it's one of the reasons so many older adults find almond milk more effective over time than over-the-counter sleep aids, which often leave them groggy or disconnected the next morning. Just as important as what you drink is how you drink it. Almond milk is best enjoyed warm, not hot, not cold, but warm enough to feel comforting. You only need about half a cup, maybe 4 to 6 ounces. Heating it slightly makes it easier on digestion and signals safety to your nervous system. This is not meant to be a meal or a snack. It's a signal, a cue that tells your body, we're done for the day. It's okay to rest now. Adding a pinch of cinnamon not only gives it a gentle, cozy flavor, it can also support circulation and help warm the body from the inside out. No sugar, no honey. Just the simple comfort of warmth and nutrients working quietly in your favor. For those who are lactose intolerant, pre-diabetic, or dealing with nighttime bloating, almond milk is often a better choice than cow's milk. It's easier to digest, less inflammatory, and doesn't spike blood sugar the way sweetened drinks can. That matters more than you might think. Blood sugar spikes, even small ones, can trigger wake-ups and affect the depth of your sleep. By keeping your drink simple and balanced, you give your body the best chance to settle into deep rest. If you're new to this, start small. Choose an unsweetened, additive-free almond milk. Heat 4 to 6 ounces gently in a small saucepan or microwave-safe mug, just until it's warm, not boiling. Stir in a dash of cinnamon if you like. Sit somewhere quiet, away from screens and bright lights. Sip slowly, breathe evenly. Let this become a ritual, not just a habit, but a moment you look forward to. Because sleep doesn't start when your head hits the pillow. It starts with how you wind down. And the more your body learns to associate this warm drink with safety, stillness, and care, the easier it becomes to fall asleep and stay asleep. You don't need to make this complicated. You don't need to aim for perfection. You just need a calm, consistent signal that whispers to your nervous system, it's safe now, you can let go. A warm cup of almond milk may seem small, but the way it settles your body, nourishes your sleep hormones, and invites rest, that's not small at all. And if tonight you can sleep just a little deeper, wake up just a little more refreshed, then this quiet little drink may just become one of the most important things you do for yourself. Part 3. Chamomile tea when your mind won't turn off. There's a specific kind of exhaustion that comes when your body is ready for sleep, but your mind isn't. You lie in bed with the lights off, the room quiet, the house still, and yet your thoughts keep circling. You replay old conversations, you think about tomorrow's errands. You feel your heart beat just a little too fast and your breath never quite settles. It's not panic, it's not fear. It's just mental noise that refuses to quiet down. And for so many people after 60, this has become the hardest part of sleep, not staying asleep, but shutting off the thoughts that keep you from falling in. That's where chamomile tea comes in, not as a magic fix, not as a sleeping pill in disguise, but as a gentle, natural way to help your mind slow down when it feels like it won't let go. Chamomile is one of the oldest herbal remedies in the world, and for good reason. Inside this small, unassuming flower is a compound called a pygenin. This plant-based flavonoid has a calming effect on the brain because it interacts directly with GABA receptors, the same part of your nervous system responsible for easing anxiety and initiating sleep. What makes chamomile special isn't that it forces sleep, but that it invites it. It softens the mental tension that builds up throughout the day. It tells your body that it's okay to stop thinking, okay to rest, okay to let go of the day. That alone can be the difference between tossing and turning for 2 hours or slipping into sleep with ease. Chamomile tea is caffeine-free, gentle on the stomach, and non-habit forming. That matters more than people realize. So many over-the-counter sleep products create dependency or leave behind a fog the next morning. Chamomile doesn't do that. It supports your natural rhythm. It doesn't override it. But just like with almond milk, how you use it makes a difference. It's best to drink chamomile about 45 to 60 minutes before bed, not rushed, not distracted. 1 tea bag or 1 tablespoon of dried chamomile flowers in 6-8 ounces of hot water is all you need. Let it steep for 5 to 7 minutes. Then let it cool to a warm, comfortable temperature, not piping hot. Sip slowly, and while you sip, breathe slowly. That alone can start to quiet the mind. This is not just about the tea, it's about the message your body receives while you drink it. A message that says, we're done for the day, it's time to rest. Many older adults find that just creating this small ritual, sitting in a quiet room with a warm cup of chamomile, becomes a turning point in their evening. The act of slowing down, of sipping rather than scrolling, gives the brain the space it needs to shift gears. For those who don't like the taste of chamomile on its own, a thin slice of ginger or a drop of natural vanilla can add a comforting layer of flavor. Avoid sugar or honey close to bedtime, especially if you're managing blood sugar levels. The goal is warmth and calm, not stimulation. Some people wonder if tea this simple can really help. But here's what matters. Sleep isn't just physical, it's emotional, it's mental. When your mind feels safe enough to slow down, the body follows. And chamomile has a way of speaking to that restless part of you, not with force, but with kindness. If you've been lying awake at night, unable to shut off your thoughts, if you felt your body say, I'm tired, while your mind keeps saying, not yet, then this is your cue to try something different. Not drastic, not dramatic, just different. 1 warm cup, 1 quiet moment. 1 message to your mind that it no longer needs to carry the weight of the day. Chamomile tea may be ancient, but its power is timeless. And tonight, it might just be the thing that lets your thoughts go quiet and your body finally rest. Part 4. Lightly warmed coconut water for calm muscles and a quiet bladder. If you've ever woken up in the middle of the night with the sudden urge to use the bathroom, or from a muscle cramp that seems to come out of nowhere, you know how frustrating it is. Your body isn't trying to be difficult. It's simply asking for something it's not getting during the day, balance. And more often than not, that imbalance is mineral-related. That's why, for older adults who struggle with nighttime wake-ups from either muscle tension or a restless bladder, one of the simplest and most surprising solutions is lightly warmed coconut water. Not cold, not flavored, not sweetened, just natural coconut water gently warmed and used with intention. Here's why it works. As we age, our electrolyte levels tend to fluctuate more easily. That means minerals like potassium, magnesium, and sodium, all of which help regulate nerve signals and muscle activity, may be just a little too low or out of sync by the end of the day. Even small deficiencies can cause your muscles to tighten or twitch during the night, or cause your bladder to become overactive. You might not feel anything during the day, but at night, when your body is trying to shift into rest and recovery, those imbalances can start to show up in the form of tight calves, tingling legs, or sudden urgency that pulls you out of sleep. Coconut water naturally contains potassium and magnesium, 2 minerals that play a key role in calming the nervous system and supporting smooth muscle function. When used correctly, it can help ease muscle tension, soothe nerve overactivity, and reduce the sensitivity of your bladder. But timing and temperature matter. Drinking cold coconut water right before bed is not helpful. It can actually chill the stomach and increase bladder urgency. The best way to use it is to dilute it with warm water in a 1:1 ratio. This makes it easier to digest, gentler on your system, and less likely to trigger bathroom trips. A good portion is just 3 to 4 ounces of diluted coconut water, sipped slowly about 60 to 90 minutes before bed. That's all. Not a full glass, not a chugged drink. Just a small, quiet step toward nighttime balance. For people who frequently wake up between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., even after cutting back on fluids, this tiny shift can be a game changer. If your legs feel fidgety or you find yourself tossing and turning without explanation, it may not be anxiety. It might be your body saying, "I need a little help holding steady." Coconut water can offer that support, not with chemicals, not with force, but with nature's own way of restoring calm. It's also an ideal option for those who don't tolerate dairy or are trying to avoid heavier bedtime drinks. It's light, refreshing, and when warmed, surprisingly soothing. That said, it's not for everyone. If you have kidney disease or need to limit potassium intake, check with your doctor before adding it to your evening routine. The goal here isn't to overwhelm your body with too much of a good thing, it's to give it just enough of what it's quietly been asking for. Many people are surprised by how quickly they notice a change. Within a few nights, they're waking up fewer times, their legs feel quieter, their mornings feel a little less stiff, and while it's not a cure, it is a form of care, small, simple, intentional. Just as important as what you drink is how you make it part of your evening. Don't rush it. Don't drink it while scrolling through your phone or watching TV. Let this be a pause, a moment to check in with your body to say, "I see what you need." Warm the coconut water gently, dilute it. Add a thin slice of ginger if you like, not for taste, but for warmth. Then sip slowly and let the minerals do their quiet work. Sleep is not just about shutting off, it's about settling in. And sometimes the body needs a little help finding that place of stillness. If you've been waking up for reasons you can't quite explain, if your nights feel restless even when your mind is calm, this might be the missing piece. Not a fix, not a fad, just a small, warm step toward deeper rest and more peaceful nights. Part 5. Golden milk to gently lower stress hormones. Sometimes you're not worried, but you still can't sleep. You're not overthinking, you're not anxious, you're just awake. Your body feels tired, your eyes are heavy, but something inside you hasn't shut off. You lie there wondering why your heart is still beating a little too fast, why your breath feels shallow, why your brain just won't shift into rest. That something might be cortisol, your body's main stress hormone, and it doesn't take a major crisis to keep cortisol high. For many people over 60, cortisol levels stay elevated late into the evening without them even realizing it. Why? Because chronic stress, inflammation, pain, or even blood sugar fluctuations can all keep your nervous system slightly on guard. Not alarmed, just not ready to sleep. That's where golden milk comes in. This warm, golden-colored drink made from turmeric, black pepper, and milk, often almond, oat, or coconut, has been used for centuries to calm the body at night. But there's real science behind its effect, and it starts with turmeric's active compound, curcumin. Curcumin is a natural anti-inflammatory agent, but it also helps regulate the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal HPA axis, the control center that manages your body's stress response. When cortisol is too high, this system stays in on mode. You don't feel panicked, but your body doesn't fully relax either. Curcumin helps bring that system back into balance. It supports GABA activity, the calming neurotransmitter, reduces nervous tension, and allows the brain to begin winding down. The key is pairing turmeric with black pepper. Piperine, the active compound in pepper, increases curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. Without it, most of the turmeric would pass through your system without doing much. Mixed with warm milk, this combination becomes a natural, calming drink that doesn't sedate you. It simply helps your body remember what peace feels like. And that's what real sleep requires, not just a quiet room but a calm body. To make golden milk at home, start with half a teaspoon of turmeric powder and a small pinch of black pepper. Stir into 4-6 ounces of warm almond or oat milk, whichever you prefer. Heat gently. Do not boil. You can add a dash of cinnamon or a thin slice of ginger for extra warmth, but avoid sugar or honey at bedtime. Drink it slowly about 1 hour before going to bed. Not rushed. Not standing at the kitchen counter. Sit down. Let the heat and aroma signal that the day is done. Think of it less like a drink and more like a message to your body. We're safe now, we're home, it's time to rest. Many older adults find that golden milk not only helps with sleep, but also with aches, joint stiffness, and general recovery. That's because it supports the body's anti-inflammatory processes, which are essential for healing overnight. And when your body feels less inflamed, less sore, less wired, it becomes easier to fall into real, uninterrupted sleep. If you've ever felt like you're doing everything right, no caffeine, quiet room, no screens, and still can't sleep, cortisol might be the hidden culprit. You don't need a prescription to reset your system. You just need something gentle, consistent, and rooted in how your body actually works. Golden milk isn't trendy. It isn't loud. It doesn't promise to knock you out. It promises something more valuable, calm, real calm. And in a world that keeps pulling us in every direction, that kind of calm is worth creating on purpose. So the next time you find yourself lying in bed, eyes open, wondering why your body won't let go, try golden milk. Not as a cure, but as a companion, one that reminds your body how to settle, soften, and finally sleep. Part 6. Gelatin or bone broth for deep, restorative sleep. Some nights you don't just want to sleep, you want to heal. You want your body to feel lighter in the morning, your joints to ache less, your mind to feel clearer, like you actually recovered overnight, not just past time in bed. After 60, that kind of rest becomes harder to come by. Your body doesn't repair itself the way it used to. Muscles take longer to recover. Joints feel stiffer. Skin loses elasticity. Sleep isn't just about how long you're in bed, it's about what happens during that time. And for true physical recovery to take place, your body needs access to certain nutrients that support deep cellular repair. One of the most powerful and most overlooked is glycine. Glycine is an amino acid found in gelatin and traditional bone broth. It's not flashy and you won't see it in many sleep supplements, but it plays a quiet, essential role in helping your body shift into deep, slow-wave sleep, the most restorative stage of rest. Glycine helps lower your core body temperature, slow your heart rate, and increase the presence of delta brain waves, all of which support uninterrupted, dreamless sleep. Unlike melatonin or sedatives, glycine doesn't force drowsiness. Instead, it gently guides your nervous system toward the conditions where sleep comes naturally. This is why many people who try it notice not just better sleep, but clearer mornings, less grogginess, less mental fog. Their bodies feel like they actually rested. Gelatin is also rich in collagen, which supports joint, skin, and tissue repair. And that matters because after 60, your natural collagen production begins to decline, which can lead to more soreness, stiffness, and slower recovery. Giving your body a small, warm source of gelatin or bone broth before bed can help replenish what time takes away. To make a simple nighttime gelatin drink, dissolve 1 teaspoon of unflavored gelatin powder into 4 to 6 ounces of warm water. Stir until fully dissolved. You can add a slice of fresh ginger or a pinch of cinnamon for warmth, but keep it simple. Sip slowly, ideally 30 to 45 minutes before bed. If you prefer bone broth, choose a low-sodium version made from real bones, not just flavored stock. Warm gently and sip plain. The goal here isn't to fill up, it's to nourish. Let this be a quiet moment of care, something you do not just to fall asleep, but to support your body's healing overnight. It's especially helpful for those who wake up feeling sore, stiff, or tired even after a full night's sleep. Glycine can help deepen the quality of rest so that your body doesn't just lie still, it actively restores itself. This matters because deep sleep is where your body does the real work: muscle repair, immune support, memory consolidation. And the older we get, the harder it becomes to enter and stay in that phase without help. Gelatin and bone broth offer that help in the most natural way possible. No pills, no dependency, no synthetic ingredients. Just nutrients your body recognizes and uses immediately. Some people are surprised by how quickly they notice a difference. Within just a few nights, sleep feels heavier, mornings feel clearer, and evening rituals begin to feel more meaningful. It's not about perfection, it's about support, about creating a space where your body feels safe enough and nourished enough to truly let go. If you've tried other sleep solutions and still feel tired, or if you wake up feeling like your body never fully shut down, this may be your missing piece. Not a trendy fix, not a quick escape, just a return to what your body has always needed: deep sleep and steady support. A small cup, a quiet pause, a step toward restoration. Because after 60, sleep isn't just a break, it's a rebuilding, and the right drink can help you rebuild in peace, one night at a time. By now you've seen that sleep after 60 is no longer just about closing your eyes. It's about calming the body, quieting the mind, and restoring what time and stress quietly take away. And sometimes the difference isn't made by another pill or some perfect routine, but by a small, warm cup chosen with care. We talked about almond milk, rich in magnesium and tryptophan, offering your body the gentle building blocks of melatonin. We looked at chamomile tea, a flower that helps your brain let go of mental tension without forcing sleep. We explored coconut water, how it can rebalance the minerals that steady your nerves and soothe your bladder. We touched on golden milk, not just a tradition, but a proven way to gently lower cortisol, your silent stress hormone. And we ended with gelatin and bone broth, two of the few natural sources of glycine, a quiet supporter of deep, healing rest. Each of these drinks serves a slightly different purpose, but together they remind us of something simple. Your body is still listening. It still wants to rest. It just needs the right signal. And that signal doesn't have to be loud. It can be warm. It can be slow. It can come from a mug you hold in your hands 90 minutes before bed in a quiet room you've made just for yourself. If you've watched this far, thank you. That tells me you're someone who still believes in tending to yourself with intention. And I want to say, truly, you deserve rest. Not just sleep, but deep, restoring, peaceful rest. I hope tonight brings you closer to that. Sleep well, you've earned it.